Hi everyone, this is Ellen Marie Francisco. Thanks for coming into my channel. Here we are. We're coming into December. But first, I want to talk about what's left of November. Karmic justice and divine contracts. A lot of us have cleared a lot out in these last several weeks. November's been quite intense. I'm sure it's leveled quite a number of us energetically. So when we have divine contracts come in, this can be anything in the legal realm world, any kind of law, criminal law, but it's also high spiritual contracts, the kind of contracts that are necessary for you to even get your body, for you to even be here on the earth. This can also represent twin flames, soulmates, those kinds of really serious love relationships that turn into other kinds of relationships and contracts. So let's see what else. I had planned on doing the Celtic cross because it gives me so much information about what to expect. So let's do that. We're going to ask about this last week of November, what we need to know. What do we need to do? Nine of Wands. We're healing. It makes sense if we saw the Karmic Justice card and everything, that the healing card. This has been a recurrent theme off and on for months. It's a bit like the wounded healer, like the part of us that is still living with some kind of trauma, unresolved, stuff that we need to move through, work through, cry through, breathe through, forgive through. A lot of times this will be the kind of growth that comes through the crown chakra first as part of the higher octaves of growth and working more towards our higher self and our exalted version of ourself. But as always, there's something to clean out and to clear out and to move out. And we have to be willing to let that go. Sometimes we can be a little bit self-destructive as we're going through these kinds of phases because the energy and the emotion is so intense that it really creates a bit of a despondency or depression or anything. It can cause any of the negative emotions to flare up in enormity. So this would be a good time to just go really easy on yourself, but also face yourself, face whatever this is. It's not the sweep it under the rug week. It's the let's bring it out into true daylight and see what's going on and see what I can do to make myself feel better about this and release parts that aren't mine, that are clinging on from old patterns. You know, if we've had a karmic breakthrough, then, you know, the healing can be really intense, and it's usually forever kind of healing. It's no turning back kind of growth too, in a lot of ways. Yeah. Now we have a bit of a Six of Wands coming in here. Yeah, some of us, as we're going through the kind of growth that we're going through right now, it does feel like we're trying to ground in midair. It is a lot of spiritual energy hitting us, a planetary shifting as well, right? There's a lot of planetary stuff going on as always that we're having constantly to adapt to. And a lot of us are figuring out how to root into the new parts of ourselves that have been trying to culminate and reach us and move through us in the last little bit. But most of this change hasn't even been enjoyed yet. And some of this change definitely isn't understood yet because a lot of it is still territory that we've never been into before. So yeah, you can feel like you're spinning in midair. Your macabre could be really moving quite a bit. You could be, um, wow, I just feel like lots of spinning. Like if you don't feel grounded, you could spin. You could. So this is a very, yeah, that's true. Okay, I'm seeing something here. All right, how do I put it into words? Mm, there are a lot of kind of like, there's always negative forces around us. How much we're affected by them or not depends on all kinds of things. But what I'm feeling is like there is quite the possibility that one little bit of negative emotion, one little bit of, oof, I don't know if I could handle any of this, can bring you down to a point where, you're really in a dark, deep, deep, dark place. And if you can keep the perspective that most of this is clearing, most of this is about completion and healing and letting go. Yeah, because it's hard to anchor in to the pain. Who wants to anchor into the pain? But you do have to anchor through the pain in order for the pain to move off. Yeah, this could be the kind of week where you have to become comfortable with the uncomfortable and just ride it out as best you can, roll with it, and lean in on your own inner resolves and inner truths and love. Lots of self-love coming in with this kind of energy. Hopefully there's a lot of self-love coming in with this energy because it could, uh, it could work both ways. Now, sometimes we need to know what do we have to work with going forward. I feel like we don't have a ton with this kind of influence. It's like we're moving into blind faith with the Two of Swords. Our third eye is all obviously changing too. How much is it changing? Yeah. Okay. So actually, what's happening is there's the opportunity to develop more of a third eye connection, but it seems that it's coming in ways that have to do with other dimensional oddities or other dimensional things. I don't think it's like so much the 3D here and now kind of energy. So it's almost like we get more access to other parts of ourselves during this phase than we do to like some of the parts that need to be working now. I mean, this sounds like a weird way to say this, but oh yeah. And then nine of swords coming right after. Well, we're coming in as nine. We got a little more nine here. If we're going into other dimensions of ourselves and other parts of ourselves, and yeah, it could be that as we're healing off some of the pain and the things that no longer belong, or the contracts that are finished, or whatever it is, we change, we grow, we want to do new things. Both of these cards, the Nine of Swords and the Two of Swords, really do point to the kind of psychic development, intuitive growth that really can help you. And if you're getting hit with an influx of this energy, the healing may be easier. I mean, you may feel dense for sure. I really feel like there's a ton of density in our every move. So whatever we're moving through is really deeply embedded, old programmed, lifetime kind of stuff. Lifetime after lifetime stuff. So the awareness is, yeah, see, this is a lot of swords energy. This is a lot of third eye. It is fifth chakra too, but I'm seeing the impact on the third eye, our ability to perceive. So things could be being revealed to us as well. I do feel like there are revelations, but they're coming because of our own energetic structure changing and growing and becoming more aware. Yeah, and then we've got our relationships coming up too, with long-term love relationships, open-heartedness, friendships, camaraderies, feeling like You can pick up where you left off with friends that are popping in after years being gone, things like that, So it's a good time. It's a lot of heart chakra coming in. I'm just trying to see which of these cards is actually our um, Ace of Cups. So, yeah, transmission, love transmissions, creative transmissions. So what it looks like to me is that we're going through a great big blob of goo, emotionally, energetically, systematically, in order to ground in, as always, the newer energies that want more of our time and space ratios and quotients. And we are so sensitive that we are probably going to understand how sensitive we are. If we weren't sensitive to the pain and the growth necessary to allow this pain to move through us, we are certainly, if we're willing to be in that truth, we're able to live in all kinds of other truths and see things. So I think that we are seeing through a lot of our own resistances and our own negativity and things like that. Or let's put it this way, a lot of us are just clearing the negativity of the world around us and things that are brushing up against our aura too. We get hit with the outside world constantly one way or another. So we're sifting through with more discernment the energies that we want to be a part of. So we're way more aware of what we need as sensitive beings and what we don't want to be a part of. So a lot of the boundaries I think that we were meant to do, I remember feeling like we had all that devil energy at the beginning of November. So if we've worked through some of our deep, dark, ugly shadow or resistant parts of ourselves that didn't really want to come into light, this is, I think, a sign that we're getting through that and that we're evolving into the next step. And there's a lot of love with our relationships anyway. So I feel like we did do a lot to make sure that our relationships were in states of equilibrium that are palatable and bring you peace. So you probably resolved any lack of peace in relationships. Yeah, there could be still some heartache out there if there were ended relationships and things like that. But that doesn't mean, all is lost in the world. So the Ace of Cups does bring in a lot of second chakra energy, first chakra energy, a lot of God force. It's the ability to create and start anew. We have been gearing up for this new beginning. We're under the light of the new moon this week too. So I would think that some of our goals are going to be more easily accessed. I feel like we're going to be able to feel more refreshed and like we've got our reserves building. I think our reserves are coming in from the spiritual wavelengths because I feel like there's just been a ton of physical depletions while having to face and erase to face and erase the influences that have been holding us back from our highest purposes, our goals, our anticipated goals. So, what else is looming ahead of us? I think that we're going to have, messed up the decks here. Well, for sure we need our strength. There's no question. And we do feel like we've been pummeled and we don't have a lot of resources or, if we're running a lot of depletions, and this is upside down too. So it could be that we're still not fully sure that we're strong enough to do whatever's coming next. We could be so pummeled by the emotional weight of what we're working through. So don't give up on thinking that you're fine, okay? Like you could be doing better than you've ever done as you're crying and wallowing through some of the worst pain you've ever felt. So definitely give yourself the benefit of the doubt through some of this and understand that you have been building strengths all along. You don't always understand what they are until you need them and universe puts them into play. And I feel like we have a lot more protection coming around us too this week, even though it's still gonna, this is a weird time. Like it's some of the strangest energy I've felt collectively in a while. And I think it's having a very unusual impact on the body, on the actual physical structure. Maybe not so much mental, although when you do the emotional clearing that deeply, there's usually a mental component too that you've got to fight through. So if you have negativity in your mind, or you easily can worry or turn in against yourself and things like that, you are going to have to use your strengths. You are going to have to use whatever faith you can muster. And a lot of times with this, with the blind faith, you don't have a lot of faith. There's a lack of faith. So this is, I guess, where we are building some of our blind faith and where some of our strengths are coming from. Yeah, well, yeah, it's part of the game here. We're not meant to be getting weaker as we go. In case you're wondering, we do have to just keep reaching for the stars, so to speak. Now, with the King, Queen of Swords coming in, this can be also a lot of telepathy. It can be a lot of stuff on the internet coming through with you, doing a bunch of things, communication, feeling more connected. Also, by the way, yeah, let's not forget we've got this sense that we are just an open channel, and we've got a third eye in every part of ourselves. We're just like the cyclops of awareness at a time like this. And we have there's a lot, I guess a lot of truth is going to be spoken this week. Like a lot of truth. It's one thing to sort of read between the lines and being sensitive and understanding, wow, I just think I saw what he said, but he didn't say it out loud with his lips, that kind of energy. So trust your instincts, trust your, recognize where your intel is coming from. Is it coming in as a feeling nature, like the Ace of Cups would suggest, coming in through your crown chakra and oozing into your sacral so you can create, or manifest according to what you're feeling and creating willfully for yourself, and the ability to feel and know without hardly any effort at all. So you're way more tuned in this is a lot more third eye. Well, it is all body awareness, no joke. But the sword sometimes comes in with way more of the mental processes too. So yeah, you could be reading everybody's mind and doubting yourself, or reading everybody's minds and taking appropriate measures to protect yourself. Our second to last card is a Karmic card. Now, we did have the Justice card pop out before I started this reading, so I knew that there was something to do with a lot of karma and all the rest of it. And this is a karmic destiny point with an 8. This is a lot about being able to monetize your God-given talents and your divine purpose as well. If you're bringing on an influx of new energies, it makes sense that you're going to churn them out into something different, and that you want to be abundant and clear in the world. You want your needs being met and things like that. So there could be a lot more resolve to get the nitty gritty work done this week too, and just get it all handled. And this Six of Wands, quick little trips, could be getting on planes or into other modes of operandi that take you places, and it could also be because of all of the third eye activity as well, and the sensitivities building. You could be doing way more astral traveling this week, or having more deja vus and things like that, where you think, oh my gosh, maybe I've been here before. What don't I know? What haven't I seen? At the same time, you're feeling everything and hardly missing a beat. It's very interesting, right? At times you're going to feel really tuned in and totally on target, and at other times, just going to feel like you have no idea what you're doing, or what it all means. And these kinds of ups and goes and downs and topsy-turvy kind of emotional roller coaster energies, or even spiritual roller coaster, mental, obviously. Like we can go from highs and lows in hardly any time at all in the right space and time, in the right geography. So I'd say, yeah, go easy. Don't overdo. I guess, yeah, there's the sense that spirit would prefer us if we just accept the parts that are. Just be where you are, live in the acceptance of it, let it move through you in healthy and helpful ways. Give yourself and the universe a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. And if your body needs more rest than you've ever needed in years, then just indulge. And if you feel depleted, just try to keep up on your vitamins, trace minerals so you're not falling apart. And I think there's a lot of sleeping going to be happening in this last week of November. So if you feel like you need a nap, you can indulge yourself there too. All right, so we'll see you for December for sure, and way beyond. Yeah, take really good care. Thanks again for coming into my channel. I hope everything's working out really well and that you're releasing and okay with letting go of, eons of time worth of karmic looping goo that you don't need anymore. All the blessings. Say goodbye lovingly to everything leaving you. Sometimes we feel tortured by it, but the reality is it's all for the highest good, and on some level you're in alignment with it, or it wouldn't be happening at all, and some of these universal pressures that are hitting us are non-negotiable. It's just yeah, so ride with the tide, go with the flow. Yeah, get your nourishment and your rest, and keep it really, keep it simple. All right, and we'll see you soon. Much love until that time. Namaste.